Europe faces a remarkable decrease in the interest of young people in natural sciences. So the real challenge is to reimagine science education and to try to both make it appealing and fit the needs of all students. The Pathway Project, funded by the European Union under the 7th Framework Programme, brings together experts in the field of science education research and teachers' communities, scientists and researchers, policymakers and curriculum developers in Europe and beyond. The aim of Pathway is to support the adoption of inquiry teaching, to demonstrate methods and exemplary cases of both effective introduction of inquiry to science classrooms and professional development programs, and to deliver a set of guidelines to further exploit the unique benefits of inquiry-based science education.
One major issue of this Pathway project is building up a community of European teachers, of European science teacher. All of you know that science in Europe has some problems right now. Science is not the most popular subject at school, although it is the most interesting one, and therefore we try to use this approach of inquiry-based. That means solving an everyday problem by the students, by using their everyday knowledge, not just using facts which are transferred by a teacher.
Inquiry-based science education is the basis for improving the way science is taught in schools. It focuses on student inquiry as the driving force for learning. In such a way, teaching is organized around questions and problems, and students learn through and about scientific inquiry rather than by teachers presenting scientific knowledge. A key element for the implementation of inquiry-based teaching is making teachers familiar with methods and best practices. So, teachers can learn from each other by using Pathway's Best Practices repository. Exemplary cases and specific practices provide specific and tangible success stories which complement the teaching of purely abstract concepts. The implementation of the Pathway approach will highlight and promote best practices in teaching scientific inquiry. By building on the best of current practice, the Pathway approach aims to take us beyond the constraints of present structures of schooling toward a shared vision of excellence. The Pathway Portal is a resource space for science teachers, students, and science museum educators. The portal's repository contains educational material like photos, videos, animations, exercises, graphs, links, and structured lesson plans. Users can also upload their own materials to the Pathway repository.
Σκοπεύουμε να δημιουργήσουμε μια μεγάλη βιβλιοθήκη με καλές πρακτικές, έτσι ώστε να είναι διαθέσιμες σε όλους τους εκπαιδευτικούς, σε όλες τις ευρωπαϊκές χώρες και βεβαίως σε ολόκληρο τον κόσμο. Μια σειρά από καλές πρακτικές που έχουν αναδείξει, να το πούμε έτσι, τις δυνατότητες της ανακαλυπτικής μάθησης, πιστοποιημένα, με συστηματική αξιολόγηση, έχουν δείξει ότι επιτυχάνουμε καλύτερα μαθησιακά αποτελέσματα.
The Pathway Consortium presents a series of exemplary teaching practices, resources, and applications that provide teachers and their students with experiences that enable them to achieve scientific literacy. The aim of the consortium is to offer the teachers a variety of resources that is arranged so that it does not impose a fixed curriculum, but instead supports the development of a model that can be customized to reflect location, culture, and ideology. The Pathway training resources are treated as case studies and are disseminated in different environments across Europe. The process of observing and reflecting on teachers' actions and on students' learning and thinking can lead to changes in the knowledge, beliefs, attitudes, and ultimately the practice of teachers. Pathway's best practices of inquiry-based science education in primary and secondary schools in Europe and beyond are reaching out to about 10,000 teachers in Europe. The statistics are impressive. Pathway's best practices: develop inquiry activities for schools, connect schools and science centers, connect schools with scientific research, establish and promote teachers' professional development. Pathways best practices have been implemented for many years in the framework of training activities in Europe, and they have proven their efficiency and efficacy.
Το έργο Pathway θεωρώ ότι είναι ένα από τα καλύτερα έργα τα οποία έχουν γίνει στα πλαίσια της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης για την εκπαίδευση των επιστημών. Μιλάει για τα διερευνητικά μοντέλα μάθησης, αλλά δίνει τη δυνατότητα και στους μαθητές και στους φοιτητές να δημιουργήσουν και εκφραστικά μοντέλα μάθησης στο πλαίσιο του λεγόμενου STEM, δηλαδή στο πλαίσιο του Science, Technology, Engineering και Mathematics, το οποίο θεωρώ ότι είναι το πλαίσιο στο οποίο θα κινηθεί η εκπαίδευση τα επόμενα, ας πούμε, 10 χρόνια. Μέσα στο έργο αυτό, οι φοιτητές της ΑΣΠΕΤΕ ασχολήθηκαν ενεργά με την παραγωγή εκπαιδευτικού υλικού, ενώ και στο πλαίσιο της επιμόρφωσης που έγιναν σε διάφορα σεμινάρια από την ΑΣΠΕΤΕ, το έργο αυτό διαδόθηκε και οι επιμορφούμενοι εκπαιδευτικοί θεώρησαν ότι τα 7 στάδια της διερευνητικής μάθησης που έχει δημιουργήσει το Pathway μπορεί να είναι ένας πλήρης οδηγός για να διαμορφωθεί μια μαθησιακή και διδακτική ακολουθία κατάλληλη για μαθητές και φοιτητές.
Pathways best practices, materials and methods offer a feel and interact user experience, allowing for learning anytime, anywhere by employing advanced and highly interactive visualization technologies, and also personalized, ubiquitous learning paradigms. The necessary link to the school curriculum is implemented by a multilingual science education vocabulary. Its goal is to associate the users, the educational activities, and pedagogical models. Pathways best practices also promote the collaboration between schools and museums. Science centers and museums are actively involved in school education, providing a range of activities for pupils, offering resources and specialist support to teachers, and organizing training activities for school staff. Schools and science teachers need to consider inquiry activities for both formal and informal settings. Inquiry project examples of school field trips in out-of-school settings, mostly in museums, science centers, and open field, illustrate a wide range of collaborations, including curriculum-based inquiry learning activities with the use of technology, collaborative inquiry activities, teacher practice, professional development, after-school summer programs, and family and community events. Pathways best practices simulate the work of real scientists and the work being done in research centers, where things happen in science. Bringing students into close contact with the happenings in research centers is beneficial for their understanding of science and how it works. Coming into contact with experimental infrastructures can boost the students' imagination, promoting their interest in scientific investigation. Furthermore, once students get involved in research activities, they should develop a healthy skepticism about the readings and a more subtle understanding of the scientific information and knowledge.
Today, we have more than 1,000 teachers come to CERN. We run 35 sessions a year in 18 different languages. Because CERN is a multinational laboratory, 100 different nationalities participate at CERN, so we can actually give lectures, give guided tours, do workshops in almost any language. Teachers are very important. They are the vehicle, they are the multiplicative factor, and the target audience is always the students that they teach.
Teachers are the link between theory and practice and act both as mentors and mediators. With the help of pathway training activities, teachers have opportunities to enrich their practices and professional context through cooperation within and between schools, universities, and frontier research institutions. Teachers also have the opportunity to practice occurring situations in the classroom and are given the time, structure, and support to think about the dissonance experienced. Through this, they get the opportunity to experience the same skills, knowledge, and thinking habits as their students.
We can really deliver to teachers. We can say, here's software that works, here's curriculum activities that work, here's ways to get your students both excited and make them smarter and more capable, and to help build citizens of the future.
Pathways Best Practices material is available for teachers, teacher trainers, and policymakers, and will include instructional models using a standard-based approach to teaching science by inquiry, documentation and methods to motivate teachers to adopt inquiry-based techniques and activities in their classrooms, an extensive collection of open educational resources and teaching practices. Pathway also stimulates the creation of communities of practice designed to bring together science teachers to share and discuss their experiences in science teaching. The communities of practice will also take advantage of modern electronic communication tools, including centralized repositories and social communication networks, to move toward a new culture and philosophy in science teaching. The pathway to inquiry-based science teaching.